Hey everyone! I hope you're all having a lovely day. Today I'll be showing a couple of my up-to-date knitted items. I started knitting around last year May, and since then I've knitted quite a few things throughout the summer season, as well as towards the end of December last year, 2012. So here are basically all of my finished knitted items. I do have others that are on my knitting needle still, but I'll show them in my next video. So after having much practice with the knit and purl stitch and knitting on practice pieces and practicing making like unofficial projects, I then went on to make my first knitted item that I could just kind of do like as my own pattern. It's not really like a pattern as such, but I just did it like off the top of my head. I didn't really like follow any like instructions or anything. So these are a pair of arm warmers that I made, and I've basically just used the stockinette stitch. I did these all in one piece and then sewed them up at the back. So I've not done them on double pointed needles, which at the moment I'm not really, like, I've never tried, but I do have plans on trying that out after I've mastered the circular needles. But yeah, so this is my first project, and I will put pictures up at the end showing like what they look like when they're on. So that's these. And after this, I decided I want to make my very own like first knitted scarf. So what I did was I looked for a pattern online, and then I came across this kind of pattern, and I thought, well, this seems quite like easy to follow through. But what I didn't realise was that it would take just a little bit of time and patience, which may I add you need a lot of. But yeah, I did manage to finish it. It took me a while, and it's quite long. I'm not really sure whether I'm going to give this away or if I'm going to keep it, but I thought if I do decide to keep it, I'll make it extra long because I am tall, and it'd be nice if there was a little bit of length hanging down from my neck. So yeah, it's very long. I'll just show you width-wise. Here's the detail. So as you can see on this side of the scarf, there's like brackets here, like a curve. However, as this is called a double basket weave, it's a pattern that also shows up on the other side, but with a slight difference to the pattern, just a slight difference. And I'll just show you that now. As you can see, this is slightly different. Where there was a bit of a raise, there's a bit of a dent now instead. I'm not really, or maybe I should just compare it. Yeah. So that's the other side. As you can see, there's a curve here, and then here there are just dents. But I like the pattern on both sides, to be honest. I think they both look really, I think they look alright. So yeah, that's the scarf. I don't want to like focus on it too much, but yeah, so that's my first ever scarf that I knitted, and for this, I'm not sure if I already mentioned it, but I did follow a pattern, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below. Next up, I basically ended up making something really quick because the scarf took me too long. So I decided to make something a bit smaller and something that wouldn't take as long. because to be honest, the scarf took like a good 5 months to make because I was working on it on and off. But yeah, this is another finished item. It's just a dishcloth. And what I did was, again, I followed a pattern for this. As you can see, I decided to do the initial of my name, which is an A. So the A is done with the knit stitch, and the rest of the background is using the stockinette with a knitted border, just to stop it from curling and to make it look a bit nicer. But yeah, that's the dishcloth. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to make out the A, but I may just stick a picture up at the end so you can perhaps see it a little bit better. And then after that, I actually came across another YouTuber who also knits, and she showed some of her knitted puppets that she'd made, and I really liked it. And then I noticed in the description box she left the link to the pattern, which is actually her own pattern, and I was quite happy about that because it's a very easy knit. And then I ended up deciding that I think I'll have a go. I did have to go into YouTube to learn how to add on knit stitches to a row, but otherwise it's very like bog standard. Knit 2 pieces and then sew them up at the sides together, and then you have your puppet, and then you just put the eyes on. That's its scarf, that's the body. I'll just put it on so you can see. My hand's a bit big, as in like it's quite long and wide as well, so that's why it looks just a little bit bigger. But yeah, that's my knitted bear, and I basically just did the ears by pinching them and then just sewing in and out of them. So yeah, that's my knitted puppet. And so yeah, I'd just like to yeah, so that's about it basically. I only actually ended up making one puppet, and I also made something else as well. In regards to the puppet, I'll put a link to the pattern below, and also I'd like to say thank you to the YouTuber, The Deadly Tea Party, because she's the one who actually wrote the pattern up for the puppet, and it's very easy, simple knit, and she does have another pattern up as well, so if you want to check that out on her website, then yeah, go, feel free to do that. This is a hat that I also knitted, my first ever hat that I knitted, and I didn't do this in the round again because I don't know how to use circular needles, which is something I want to learn how to do in the near future. I mean, I have practiced, but I don't think I'm doing very well at it, but I'm going to continue. So yeah, this is a one-piece hat. So basically I did it all in one piece and then I sewed it up at the back. And for this I also followed a pattern. So like at the top of it, I did do some decreases. I don't know if it's obvious. It's yeah, so I did do decreases at the top, and the bottom is just knit 2 purl 2 ribbing to stop it from curling and just to make it look a bit nicer. I'm not going to show the back because I'm not really sure. I don't really think the seam would look too nice. I don't think it's too obvious. I mean, I will give you like a quick view of it. Like, that's the back of it. I don't think you can even tell there's a seam there. No, you can't tell, I don't think. But yeah, that's my first ever knitted hat. I did this using really chunky yarn. So for this I did use, again, King Cole, and it was King Cole Chunky, I think. Can't remember. But if anyone does want to know what yarn I use for this, you can just drop me a comment below and I'll let you know. But it is quite warm, a very warm kind of, warm and soft hat because of the yarn being so, like, it's quite stretchy and soft. But yeah, that's the hat. And the final thing that I made is not actually a project as such, it's just more of a swatch, just to practice a certain stitch. I'm not really sure how I'm going to show this because I might need two hands. I think I'll just get something to put my camera on. That way I can show you properly and uncurl the work. So yeah, basically what I did was I tried practicing the cable stitch because I've always wanted to know how to do that. So here it is. That's the cable stitch that I practiced. Well, I'll show you sideways first. That's the way it looks from the side. And that's the way it looks from the front, basically. Yeah, that's the cable stitch from the front. I might put a picture up for this as well, actually, because you can't really, I'm not really sure if you can see the detail of it, but yeah, that's the cable stitch. My practice cable stitch. I'm not really gonna say that it's a project or anything, it's just a long piece of nothing really, just a cable stitch. But yeah, that's about it really. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, I do have other projects on my knitting needle, but I've not finished them, so these are basically my up-to-date projects. So I don't know if you can see it better now. But yeah, that's the cable stitch. So anyway, they're all my, what do I call them? They're not unfinished projects anymore. They're off the needle. Can't really say they're off the hook because they're all knitted items. But yeah, that's about it. And I hope you all enjoyed. And I look forward to seeing everybody else's work, knit work, or whatever other craft you do using yarn. And I hope you all have a lovely week, or what is it? I know, actually I think it's the weekend coming up now. Hope you all have a great weekend, and yeah, happy crafting. Bye.